West Michigan. This is Commissioner Robert S. Womack on 102.5 FM The Ride here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And we are so proud to have this interview today with Maya Harris, the sister of Kamala Harris, our Vice President, who is running for the presidency of the United States of America and trying to save America at this crucial time in our history. I'd like to welcome her to the Pulse of the City. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. This is Maya Harris, Kamala's sister. I'm so happy to be with you.
Well, we're so happy to have you here today. Your sister is out here on the campaign trail. Most of us know her as the Vice President of the United States of America, but she's actually your sister, and there's so much people want to know about Kamala when she was growing up, and some of the things that may have happened while she was growing up that you think helped shape her for leadership coming from you as her sister, Maya Harris?
Well, I appreciate that question because one of the things that I tell people about Kamala as I've been traveling around the country is that she is who she's always been. And what I mean by that is Kamala and I grew up in a very hardworking middle-class community with a hardworking mother, parents who really wanted to create opportunity for us. And Kamala never has forgotten where she came from and the people who we grew up with. And so when she is looking at, as vice president, but more importantly, as she is looking to become president of the United States, she has an agenda that is focused on the middle class. Having been the daughter of a middle class family in a middle class community, and that's why she's really focused on, and her number one economic priority is to bring down costs on the things we rely on every day in terms of groceries and housing and prescription drugs. And so I give you that as an example because that is the through line, right? Which is that how she has grown up and who she has fought for has been the same her entire life. And really that is hardworking, everyday American. But the other thing that I would say about Kamala in terms of how we grew up is that she has always been just a force. And I mean, tough and strong and courageous and fearless. And, one of the things I would tell people, she's always, never backed down from a challenge. She always stands up to bullies. She's always stood up for vulnerable people. One of the things that I tell people is from my earliest recollection, she's been that way. When she was in kindergarten, her best friend, Stacy, who, by the way, is still her best friend today, Stacy and Kamala were on the playground in kindergarten, and there was a kid who was picking on Stacy, and Kamala stood up to Stacy, and that other child turned around and literally threw a rock or a stick or something at Kamala. She still has a scar on her eye from that interaction, but she's always seen if someone was in trouble or someone needed a hand, if someone needed help. She's always been like that. She was like that in high school. She had a friend, Wanda, who was actually being molested by her stepfather. And when Kamala found out, Kamala said to Wanda, "You need to come stay with us until we figure this out." And so Kamala asked my mom if Wanda could come stay with us. And of course, my mom said yes. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what's in her heart. That's who she is. She's an empathetic, compassionate person. And she's also, though, tough and strong. So she's going to not only, embrace people, she's going to figure out how to lift them up, protect them, and move them forward. And that's who she is, and that's who she's always been. Now, that's completely unlike, obviously, Donald Trump, who's running on the other side, who is a bully, who divides people and degrades people and really beats people down instead of lifting them up. And so the contrast in this election, which the stakes are so high, the contrast in this election could not be more clear when you look at the difference between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. It's two fundamentally different views of the American people, of views of the future, where Kamala is offering a new way forward for the American people, where she set out a vision where everyone can see themselves and can prosper, because that's who she's always been. And that's why her number one priority is bringing down everyday costs for everybody so people can get ahead. And on the other side, you've got Donald Trump, who's only looking out for himself, who's got the Project 2025 agenda, and, and who just really wants the unchecked power to do whatever he wants to whoever he wants. So we need to turn the page on Donald Trump and really work with Kamala to protect our freedoms, to realize the promise of America where anything is possible for everyone who's willing to receive it.
I got a quick question. When I look at these attributes that Vice President Harris has for leadership, how much of that influence comes from your mother? And tell me a little bit how your mother raised you in a quick fashion and how you believe some of that motherly love influenced her for leadership.
Well, absolutely. Our mother raised us with a really big expectations for us and what we could achieve in life, but she had even greater expectations of us. And so she really instilled in us an understanding and an expectation of our duty, our responsibility to leave this world more fair, more just for more people than we entered it. And we learned that by example from her. Our mother, came to the United States when she was a teenager back in 1958 by herself, which was unheard of at that time. But when she got here, community that embraced her. It's how she met my father. It's how my mother became an activist in the civil rights movement. And so the aspirations really of that movement for this country and realizing the promise of America, those were not for me and Kamala. That was part of our lived experience. And so us being raised, in a community that instilled in us the values of faith and of community, of connectedness, of collective responsibility, and really the importance of treating others the way we want to be treated and to have decency and respect, not just for our elders, but for everybody, right? And so we grew up with these values, right, of looking out for people. We knew our neighbors. We rode the bus to the public school. It's why, Kamala is so strong on, supporting our teachers and supporting our public schools, whereas Donald Trump wants to get rid of Department of Public Education and cut school funding. We grew up with that understanding of appreciation for what we had and the opportunities that we were provided, but an expectation that we do something with that to improve other people's lives. And that's where that leadership qualities from her came. Yes, it's how our mother raised us. It's how our community raised us. And it is, something that's apparent in what she's fighting for now today, which is really for everyone to prosper. And again, the complete opposite of what Donald Trump wants to do, which is going to take us backwards. And that's why we're not going back.
Not going back. As we close out, Maya Harris, just tell us how important it is for people to come out and vote and support Vice President Harris in this upcoming election in November.
Well, it is very important. We talked about Kamala traveling all over the country. She's actually in Michigan as we speak today. And what we really need people to know is that early voting in Michigan starts this weekend on Saturday, October 26th. And we're reminding people that Election Day, which is November 5th, is the last day to vote. But you can start voting as soon as this weekend. And so don't wait. Go ahead and make a plan to vote. Go to iwillvote.com, get your plan together, get your ballot in. And then after you get your ballot in early, we hope, go talk to your friends, your family, your neighbors. Sign up with us at the campaign at go.kamalaharris.com. We need every vote in this election. It's going to be a close election. We have so much energy and momentum, and we're telling people, yes, that is true. But we have to make sure that every vote is cast and counted in order for us to realize the promise of making Kamala Harris president of the United States. And so we just urge everybody to don't delay. Get out there and early vote.
Maya Harris, I want to thank you for being a part of the Pulse of the City here in West Michigan. And our listeners are definitely tuning in to see how they can support your sister, Vice President Harris, as she runs for presidency of the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and a good day to all.
Grand Rapids, we want to thank her for being a part of the Pulse of the City, Mrs. Maya Harris, and we return you back to your regular programming. Thank you.